y'all. It's Frank Payne for Loud and Unfiltered. Now, today's episode, number 8, well, this is going to be a flashback interview. We're going to go all the way back to 2013. So about a decade ago when we had a chance to talk to Bret Michaels. Yeah, the legendary Bret Michaels. Had a chance to talk to Bret quite a bit. We talked about him having diabetes, his philanthropy, some of his albums, including a covers album titled Jammin with Friends, what song he first learned to play on guitar, and more. As a matter of fact, we're going to pick up this interview where I asked him if he found the fountain of youth because, well, anybody that's seen Bret Michaels, it doesn't look like he's aged at all. I hope you enjoy it. Here's episode 8 of Loud and Unfiltered. How in the hell do you stay on top of your game? What do you attribute that to? I have a hard time waking up sometimes, and you look like the same Bret Michaels that you've always been. I mean, this is crazy. You found the fountain of youth, right?
Yes, I have found it, and oddly enough, it was rock and roll. I just didn't know it. It was being out on the road, playing music is what they say will kill you, right? And I said, well, what doesn't kill you can get you stronger, right? And going on stage, it is for me, when the fans truly need to understand this. It is what I dreamed about doing. I get to do it 26 years later, and it's a combination of going out there, let me say this, loving what I do, but when I go on that stage, or something happens that makes me forget about all the other problems in the world, and the fact that I've been a diabetic since I've been 6, the 5 shots a day, all these battles with the brain surgery, heart surgery, all the craziness I've been through, I attribute it to, and I truly mean this, grace of God, good medical attention, and rock and roll. It's gotten me through.
You know, and I got to tell you right now, that's the prescription that I wish I could get a hold of, because first off, I mean, the way you've kept yourself, even through the roadblocks that you've had health wise, the way that you've kept yourself in just tip top form, it's an inspiration. Anybody that sees you, you're the epitome of the best front man that anybody could ever see in a live show. But you know, last time we just briefly mentioned. Last time you were here, you were just releasing your latest album called Jammin with Friends. You know, it's packed full of originals, covers, and guest appearances and stuff. How did you decide which songs were going to be included on the album and who you'd actually perform them with?
Absolutely. Well, Jammin with Friends, we had decided sort of on the 20 songs that we wanted to do, and how it all started, ironically, again, it goes back to Phil Collins from Def Leppard and me working on some stuff, and then Jimmy Buffett and I had re-recorded Margaritaville together just for fun. We've been friends a while. We went on stage and did it. That kicked off the record. And then, like, as something to believe in, you talk about this. If you're doing nothing but a good time, Lil Jon was on Apprentice with me. Yeah. I knew him for a while. He was going to do this little tag piece in it. Then all of a sudden, Ace Frehley from Kiss and I are talking. We're just talking about life and all this stuff. And the next thing you know, he's playing guitar on it. And Michael Anthony from Van Halen and I have been friends forever. I'm talking about lots of good time parties. And that's how it came together. And then Joe Perry from Aerosmith heard the version of Every Rose with Loretta Lynn on it, and he wanted to do some slide and guitar on that. And that really, it came together really kind of organically, but I did have a vision of what the 20 songs were. Some of them Poison, some of them solo, and then stuff like Leonard Skynyrd and I doing Sweet Home Alabama together.
It's obvious that all these songs, anybody that's heard the album Jammin' with Friends, these are songs that you really love. These, I mean, so it's really cool to hear you perform them, because you really, put the passion into it as if you wrote the song yourself.
Absolutely, and they have a reason for them. Every song in the record has a reason. Sweet Home Alabama was the first song I learned to play on acoustic guitar, right, along with Knocking on Heaven's Door. Sweet Home Alabama was the song that I learned to play at diabetic youth camp when I was a kid, so it had very special, it puts me in a great mood. I listen, whether you're paying respect to the original version or the version that we did, when I play that, I feel like it's part of who I am. And when I did Sublimes, What I Got.
Yeah.
When I did that song, or we did it when I was coming out of rehab and my brain surgery, that's the song that was on my iPod when I flipped it on and was able to listen to music again. That's the song I listened to, and I was like, that is a great song. Love Is What I Got. And we get to mix it up and take that, as they say, that musical journey, right?
Yeah.
That you can have a blast and have Sublime on the same as Skynyrd, as Buffett, as all the Poison hits, the new Bret Michaels stuff. And that's why I said Jammin with friends. I really encourage people to, whether they buy it, they download it, whatever they do, check it out, because we really put some time and effort into it.
I'm one of the old school guys, Bret, where I like to have that, have the album in my hands. The download.
Absolutely.
The download.
Me too. I like, don't ever get me wrong. I love new technology.
Yeah.
Love it. But I'm one of those guys, I still like to see something. I still want to see some artwork, some CD. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but knowing I'm holding it,
Yeah.
it was big doing for me growing up. You know what I'm saying? That's still in my blood.
Bret, I know a lot of people, we briefly talked about, Celebrity Apprentice, and a lot of people obviously know you from your latest TV foray with, Rock My RV, and of course, previously Rock of Love and stuff. And I'd like to talk about that here in a second, but, right now, I really want to ask you about your Life Rocks Foundation. I think that pretty much deserves as much, if not more, attention than anything else that you've got going on, because to some people, some people that don't know the whole story about Bret Michaels, to some you're just a rock star on stage, but I really want people to know everything that you do, because you are tireless. I doubt you very rarely sit down, because you've got so much going on, including the Life Rocks Foundation. Why don't you give us a little insight on this?
Here, first of all, thank you for saying that, and you're absolutely right. It is the Life Rocks Foundation. The reason that I've formed this and done this, it started out when I was a child being diabetic. My mom and me helped to form the Harrisburg Diabetic Youth Camp. That's how it started, with philanthropy and charity and humanitarianism, of going in there and actually working and getting kids. Then I was the only diabetic in my school, and then I found that there's other diabetic kids. They didn't know what to do. And then all of a sudden that just led into and I say this, fortunately, into my career, being able to be 26 years into doing what I do, which is being out and making music. I take that Life Rocks Foundation, and just like the other night, we were in Phoenix, Arizona. I did a big Life Rocks charity concert. Mm-hmm. Everybody that was there, everyone was donating. They've done this for years, and what we do is it's a dollar in, dollar out foundation. Anything that comes in goes right back out to the community. We gave a home away with Operation Homefront. You can go to BretMichaels.com, Life Rocks, or Operation Homefront, and we gave some of our warriors and wounded warriors an actual mortgage-free home.
Wow.
Where we walk up on stage and they think they're getting an award to say thank you, and all of a sudden out of my pocket I grab a key and say, this is a key to your brand new home. And that means the world to me, to work with diabetic kids. We do a huge stuff for breast cancer with myself and the Hard Rock do Pinktober together. And it's not just about just raising money. It's about really meeting people, taking care of them. We do it with PetSmart. And I'll explain that. I have an entire pet collection of dog and cat stuff at PetSmart, just the Bret Michaels collection. And we do a huge thing with Chance, which is their plush toy charity. They go in there, they buy Chance. The money goes to all the shelters, taking care of animal shelters, adoptions, and stuff like that, which is great. And especially childhood cancer is a huge part of what I do.
Obviously, we love seeing you on stage, but what you do with your philanthropy off the stage, it doesn't go unnoticed, and it is very much appreciated. People like you that keep this world turning, Bret. Well,
I want to say this, first of all, beyond saying I appreciate what you said, but let me just add to that as well. It is, and I say this to everybody, we all of us go through the ups and downs. That's what my song, Every Rose Has Its Thorns, about the highs, the lows. And I think that what it is what I've found in my life. I've been dealt a lot of negative blows, and I've found a way to pick myself back up and sort of dust it off and keep chugging. And that's what Life Rocks Foundation encourages people to do, is that there's other ways we can find to make this great. And that's what we hope we influence on people. And like me and you, when we come to town, and I see you tomorrow, we're going to do something amazing. We're going to pick a local charity and make a good donation to them.
That's fantastic.
It'll be My Life Rocks Foundation, and you'll help us to find it. We'll look for whether it's sending a kid to diabetic camp, a couple kids. I meet people. We auction my Every Rose guitar at night off the stage. All that money goes back into the camp.
You know, it's that extra step. It's that extra step that you take, and well, with you, it's an extra million steps. But it's that extra effort that you give that means so much to people. And I talked to so many of the people that were with the the diabetes awareness groups. Last time they got to meet you and everything, and the impact that you had on their lives just from meeting you. It's amazing, man. It really is kind of illuminating. It casts a nice light on what is some people consider kind of a negative time in our country's history and stuff. And it's great to see stuff like that. And, and God bless you for taking the time to give not only of yourself, but of all the resources that you have for everything that you benefit. And we do have a PetSmart here in town as well that has your collection. So, for everybody with the pets, head on down to PetSmart and check out the Bret Michaels collection.
Absolutely. And I want to say this, too. Like I said, we're going to come in. We're going to have a great concert, play all the Poison hits, the solo stuff, the Jammin with Friends stuff. We're going to make it a positive, awesome night. And, again, what we'll do, we'll find the diabetic groups in town, whether it's JDRF or the ADA, and we'll do something great for them. And we'll make a donation, and you'll be able to announce on the air what we're doing. And people see that it actually, like I told you, Life Rocks, we're a have fun and get it done foundation. There's a lot of people talk about it, but then you got to see it through, and what we're good at is seeing it through.
I've got to ask you one thing. This doesn't have anything to do with music or philanthropy or RVs or Celebrity Apprentice, nothing. I know you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, right?
Here it goes. Go on. I'm ready.
No, I'm just wondering. I like the Steelers. Personally, I'm a Houston Texans fan, but I do like the Steelers. When are you going to go?
Those Texans are good, and my friend Chris Brown, let me say this, was kicking in Pittsburgh, and I just saw him in Omaha the other day. We were doing a show there at the amphitheater, and he was down with the Texans when they first kicked off.
Yeah. Well, I want to know, when are you going to stop off at a Pittsburgh game and give them a pregame pep talk? They have got the team. They just haven't been able to put the pieces together this year, and I think a little bit of help from Bret Michaels would probably do the trick.
You know what I'm going to do? I am going to do that. I go to see. I'm a loyal guy. I'm not wish-washy. I went in and gave that pep talk, talking with the Pirates, and look what happened.
Yeah,
it turned out pretty decent, right?
It did.
So I'm thinking maybe get in there with the Steelers, but we have a trick this year. We're fooling you. We want you to think we're not going to bring it, so everyone kind of tones their game down, and then we're just going to ram it right till the playoffs. That's our game plan.
The under the radar approach. I like it.
The old under the radar. We're going to do the old Statue of Liberty around the goal.
Hey, Bret, I know you...
Well, let me say this. I'm obviously a patient man because the last time I was recording Native Tongue in 92 was the last time our Pirates have seen the playoffs. So I'm a patient man. I stuck by them. So I think if the Steelers have a couple rough years to rebuild, I'm there. I'm not going nowhere. We'll be good. And like I said, I got a lot of friends that are Cowboys fans, Texans fans, and we get together and we're best friends right up until it comes to that sports bar and the game kicks on, and then we throw down, and then afterwards, whoever wins or loses, we buy beers.
There you go. And Bret, man, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to call us today. I know you've got a very busy schedule, more than pretty much anyone on the planet. So looking forward to a great show, and thank you so much, Bret.
You got it. Hey, thank you for keeping it rock and rolling and being an awesome guy and a friend, and I'll see you tomorrow night.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, brother.
Hey, thank you very much.
Man, what a great flashback to 2013, getting a chance to talk to Bret Michaels. I'll tell you, that's one of the big things I'll take away from my career in radio and all other forms of media is the fact that I've had many chances to meet and speak with many of my idols, including Bret Michaels. But being on stage is not nearly as important to the world as Bret Michaels off stage with his Life Rocks Foundation. Everything that he does, all of his philanthropy is just really inspirational. Again, that was a flashback to 2013 featuring Bret Michaels of Poison. Now, Poison's back together. They're touring around with Motley Crue and more. So it's good to see some of these bands getting back together with their original singers and more. Now, don't forget, you can find us online at DaleJr.forPresident.com. I'd appreciate it if you went over to our website, checked it out. Lots of great content on there, as well as our merch booth, which, purchasing some new stuff from the merch booth will definitely keep Loud and Unfiltered going. And I appreciate your support so damn much. Trust me on that one. Hey, have a great day. I really do enjoy spending this time with you, even if it's just a short period of time. When you get a chance, regardless of what podcasting platform you're on, please like, follow, subscribe, leave reviews, leave comments. That really helps me out a lot. Thanks so much for joining us on Loud and Unfiltered. Please remember, be a good human. And of course, stay loud and unfiltered, y'all.